Have you watched or read Dragon Ball as a kid? Like, have you had those days where you go home after school, turn on the TV and just watch a few episodes of Dragon Ball and just live the time of the life? Well, I had that. Man, those were the days we just didn't care for art at all, which is the exact opposite of what I will do today. Because today I want to show you the artistic influence that Akira Toriyama, the manga author of Dragon Ball, had on pop culture, manga and comics overall. So let's start with the first page. And the first page already starts with Akira Toriyama's illustrative skills. And while the art style is not really atypical for its time back in the 80s, it already shows one of Toriyama's greatest skills, which is his positioning of eye catchers. At the very next panel you have Son Goku just popping out of it, completely separating himself from the background and being the eye catcher, which immediately decides the focus of the entire manga series. Just a few pages forward there is more variety being shown, especially in its paneling where some panels are portrayed as typical boxes while others seem to happen on the pages themselves, showing where to put the focus to. And that on the other hand was not typical in the 80s. Not too long after we see Toriyama's eye-catching skills and illustrative skills again, and from that point forward it only goes up. And that happens as soon as page 109. Muten Roshi's pop-off gets Toriyama to show his anatomical skills with almost no proportional and anatomical flaws. My favorite part of this page is Akira Toriyama showing off his shading technique. For example, let's compare it to the shading of a more current manga. Do you notice something? In the other manga, raster foil has been used. In Dragon Ball, no raster foil has been used. A lot of manga use raster foil to shade now, and that's not bad at all, but back in the 80s and prior that was not something most artists have done at all. It just creates a very strong contrast in shading and tests someone's skills to Vegeta and much more. When we look at Toriyama shading, the shade is just deep, black and proud. But what fascinates me more is the blending technique for the shading. Just look at each line. No line is set at any random pace or is indifferent from each other. Every line has purpose in it. Every line is set just as it's supposed to be. And that is just the beginning of Toriyama's absolutely clean line art and clean technique. But for now, let's stick to the scene of Muten Roshi's pop-off. If we turn just 2 pages, we get to Muten Roshi where he does the first Kamehameha in all of Dragon Ball, and Toriyama made sure to appear as breaking and shattering as it gets. Here, Toriyama tests something very known for the first time, which is considered the double page spread. And that is basically when a panel crosses over to a second page. I'm sure you've all seen it elsewhere in other manga, but I don't know, when I look at this page, man, I am just feeling the shadows of the Kamehameha, seeing it for the first time, like, oh man. And that mostly comes from the perspective, like Muten Roshi shows us his back, while the Kamehameha draws into the distance and creates a big flash. And now we come to the first summoning of Shenlong. Just look at how majestic this dragon is. It makes him appear so big that Shenlong isn't even fitting into the entire page. It also shows Dragon Ball's influence in Chinese legends and myths, because the original Shenlong is from exactly that sphere. He's considered a very divine dragon there. Another monstrous beast is Son Goku's great ape form. Also is influence from Chinese myths and legend, but let's focus on the art of the double spread itself. Even though the great ape form is covered in almost all of black ink, just a few lines make the black ink turn into fur, and that is very minimalistic and wow, not a lot of tools, but he really did it. And of course, the flying pieces of the castle make Son Goku's great ape form look very breaking again, and I really like it. On page 418 we see one of Toriyama's best showcases of his influential paneling. The way the panel gives Son Goku's jump so much height makes it very easy for the eyes to follow along and follow the flow. Just the amount of easiness to read and follow the flow of Dragon Ball and its paneling is just something so unparalleled, and to this day it's almost unmatched. You just pretty much have almost always an overview of what's going on, which is something that you can't really say about a lot of shonen manga, to be honest. Now let's talk for the last page of this video. And while the following aspect is something less arts related, it's something more literature related, which is something Dragon Ball has popularized. It is the tournament arc. Shonen manga of the upcoming years were pretty much spamming it, but none of them were the first to do so. And while these aspects have turned into cliches in a lot of shonen manga, there are nonetheless achievements and milestones which have been achieved by Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has really brightened up my childhood like no other manga ever could have done. Just no other feeling compares to sitting in front of the TV every day after school to watch what is gonna happen next in this wonderful story. And while still great works of fictions are getting released, none of them could have possibly catch the magic that Akira Toriyama brought into this world. It's a feeling from my childhood that I miss to this day. And with that I wanna say, thank you Akira Toriyama for everything you have done. May your soul rest in peace and may you forever be remembered.